Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7 Episode 7 has finally released on Disney+. I'm not gonna lie, the early release of Episode 7 caught me off guard, so hopefully you guys still enjoy the video. Before we dive deep into this amazing episode, remember to hit the subscribe button to be notified every time I release a recap and explainer of every single Clone Wars Season 7 episode. This episode follows the events of the previous episode, where Ahsoka, Trace and Rafa found themselves captured by the Pyke syndicate after a failed spice trade. It begins with a surprised Trace who tells Ahsoka and Rafa that she never would have thought her first mission would end with her in prison. This sparks an argument between Ahsoka and Trace regarding the morality of spice and whether or not they should be profiting off of the suffering of other people. Ahsoka's moral stance leads Rafa to jokingly call her a Jedi. This in turn prompts Rafa to mention an incident involving the Jedi that has now caused them a great fear and is the reason they keep away from the Jedi. This incident was the prison break on the surface of Coruscant by the notorious son of gangster Jabba the Hutt, which of course we saw previously in the Clone Wars series. This next part is an incredible connection to the rest of the series, with Rafa explaining that a vehicle involved in the chase was headed for a crowded platform before the Jedi were able to steer it clear and save many lives. But unfortunately for Trace and Rafa, the direction that the Jedi steered the ship in was the home of their mother and father, who were both killed by the impact. This incident was the moment that turned the sisters against the Jedi and left them without a family. After that, 3 Pyke guards arrive at the cell that the group are being held in. They demand that Rafa go with them to be interrogated before Ahsoka attempts to stop them, being electrocuted by the guard. Rafa is then taken away to an interrogation room where she is strapped to a chair ready to be tortured. She makes excuses for her failed spice delivery but is repeatedly shocked with electricity by a torture droid. Honestly, I know I shouldn't say this, but that is a really cool looking droid and I love seeing it. Following that, the guards return Rafa to the cell, but her body is clearly drained and depleted from the torture that has just taken place. Ahsoka is again shocked by the guards, but this time Trace is taken away for further questioning. She is taken to the same interrogation room as Rafa was, on the verge of receiving the same treatment as her sister before she pretends to pass out. This distraction allows her to grab the blaster of one of the guards and shoot them down, allowing her to escape. While this is happening, Ahsoka focuses the Force to unlock her cell and wakes up Rafa. As Rafa awakens, she is clearly very scared and showing signs of harsh torture. After this, we cut back to Trace, who is making her escape through the corridors of the prison. She is eventually grabbed by one of the guards and while in midair, frees the prisoners in the cell next to her with her foot. The prisoners that she had just freed proved to be worthy allies, distracting the Pyke guards, allowing her to escape. Unfortunately, the distraction is short-lived, with the guards quickly catching up to the group. The group then manage to escape from the prison compound and are engaged in an intense shootout with the Pyke guards who are exiting the doorways. Again, Ahsoka discreetly uses the Force to block the pathway as they all make their escapes, which seems to be a recurring theme throughout the arc. Ahsoka is still a Jedi at heart at this stage, but she knows that she can never return to the Order. As the group are making their daring escape, explosions ring out behind them, forcing them onto a far bridge that is currently being contracted. The quickly moving bridge forces Rafa to jump to the other side while Trace and Ahsoka are stuck with the Pyke guards quickly closing in behind them. In a very similar move to Cal Kestis in Jedi Fallen Order, Ahsoka is forced to save Trace with the Force as she falls from the bridge. The Martez Sisters are now reunited on the other side of the bridge, but Ahsoka is stuck with her back against the wall. As the sisters now believe Ahsoka's life is in real danger, Rafa shows her true colours and begs Trace to leave Ahsoka behind. I was starting to respect Rafa, but that is just a low move from her and pretty shocking considering how much Ahsoka has done to help the two sisters survive. Despite this, Ahsoka manages to cross to the other side of the bridge with the Force. I will give Dave Filoni this, the moments where the sisters think Ahsoka has fallen down was very funny, and I did really like that scene, so good on you Dave Filoni. Next up, the group make their way to an elevator shaft where one of the most gruesome moments in the Clone Wars happens, with one of the workers brutally losing his head to the elevator. I wish I could describe that in more detail, but because of YouTube's bots these days I can't say anything too bad, so you'll just have to take my word for it and the photo on screen. The group pause and Ahsoka explains to Rafa again why getting into business with the crime syndicates is a horrible idea. They then devise a plan to escape, with Ahsoka being given the harder of the two jobs, deactivating the main gate. Ahsoka then sneaks into one of the Pyke guard towers, knocking each one of them out, but not without a struggle. As she escaped the guard tower, Ahsoka rushed to aid Trace and Rafa with the onslaught of guards approaching them. She again uses the Force to help the two sisters without their knowledge. A beggar on the street then asks Rafa for credits, but of course she refuses. This same beggar is then approached by the Pyke guards who show him a hologram of the sisters and Ahsoka, offering a large reward for information on them. The beggar does eventually lead the guards to Ahsoka and the sisters, but we get a slight glimpse at a mysterious hooded figure which you'll hear more about in a minute. The group are then forced to steal a speeder to make their escape, but it is quickly destroyed, leaving them with their backs again to the wall. With the two sisters being captured and Ahsoka on the run, we cut back to the mysterious hooded figure, this time 3 of them. We clearly see that these are Mandalorians, familiar ones. Based on the voice actors alone, I'm willing to confidently say that one of them is Katan, who was definitely expected to be in the series, but the other one is Ursa Wren, mother of Sabine Wren from Rebels. I'm honestly so excited to see this crossover and how it will play into the Siege of Mandalore. They're Mandalorian, so there definitely has to be some connection between these 2 arcs now. Following this, we cut back to a hologram of Pyke leader Pyke Crime questioning the Martez sisters about the failed spice deal. He assured the sisters that once he finds Ahsoka, she will be brutally tortured in order to extract information about the location of the spice from her. After this, true to Ahsoka's character, she comes rushing back in to rescue the Martez sisters, crashing a large vehicle into a stack of crates, collecting the 2 sisters. Unfortunately, their escape is once again short-lived as the 3 of them are returned to their cell, back to where we started. Rafa offers to do a job for the Pykes to make up for their failed mission, but he does not accept, reminding them of the failure of their first mission. The episode then ends with the group back in the cell discussing their next plan of action. Rafa and Ahsoka's relationship is seemingly repaired at this point, which I'm happy to see, but her earlier actions are still pretty unforgivable, and I don't think you can really come back from that without significant repentance and sorrow for her actions. Wow, I was very impressed with that episode compared to the first one. The connection to the Siege of Mandalore is finally forming with Bo-Katan and Ursa Wren on Obadiah. I can't wait to see how they play into the story in the next episode. It's possible that they will aid in the rescue of the group, but I'm still sticking to my original theory that Anakin will come to Ahsoka's rescue next episode. So let me know down in the comments where you think the story is going next. Do you think it will be Anakin or the Mandalorians to save the group in the next episode, or will it be someone completely different? Remember to hit the subscribe button to be notified as soon as I release a recap video every single time a Clone Wars episode drops. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers guys.